welcome back to the channel. This is Jim again from Bang Time Pool. Today, I'm going to go over a pretty neat little shot. Curve or a swerve shot. I'm going to show you the techniques. I mentioned it a little bit yesterday in the video. If you haven't seen that, please check that video out. First thing is, when do we do it? When do we not do a swerve or a curve shot? Okay? What we have to realize is this cue ball is going to generate spin. It's going to need some time to catch on the felt and break. Kind of like bowling. They get the rotation on the oil and then all of a sudden it'll catch and break into the pins. We need that same technique here on the felt. So as long as we have some distance between the ball that we're curving around and our object ball, the distance is great. That gives us time to put spin on this and time for it to break into our object ball. Now, even if we're here and our ball that we're curving around is even closer to us, not that big of a deal, because again, the distance between the ball we're curving around and our object ball is great. We can still generate enough spin where we can get around there and pocket the ball, okay? Now, if the ball that we're trying to curve around is here, you know, we're gonna have to come up with another option if we were straight on it, because the success rate here is very low, because we have to miss that ball. So we're going to have to really have some control. Now, you know, we've all tried it. Some of us may have been successful if you've tried the swerve or curve shot. This, you may play off a rail. You may play a bank. We may go, you know, a long rail bank. Okay, so a curve shot in this instance would not be my number one choice. Of course, you could try it. You could use the rail, curve it around and maybe use the rail. You could just put some right-hand spin on it where it's gonna curve slightly, hit the rail into the 8. So we have some options, but when we have distance between the ball we're curving around and our object ball, the swerve or the curve shot is on, in my opinion, okay? Now, let's take a closer look at the technique of how we hit the swerve shot. I'm gonna go this way so we can get a good view of it, okay? Now, I mentioned yesterday about the tripod bridge, where we use our 2 fingers, and then our 2 middle fingers are for support. We're making a V with our thumb, okay? So we have our forefinger and our pinky, thumb, okay? Now, where do we contact the ball to maximize the spin? So what we need to do is think about the center of the ball, the dead center. We don't want to go any higher than that for control purposes. So when we do hit this, we want it around that center or below to maximize the spin and control. Now, you notice when I hit it, I did elevate my cue. Okay, we don't want to put forward spin on it. That's not going to give it time to break. Okay, we want to put downward, and you can see how I ended up in the felt. Okay, so we want to hit a slight downward angle, and we want to be slightly under center of the cue ball. You want that tripod bridge up and down through it. Okay, now again, this takes a lot of practice for aiming purposes. I can tell you what I do, because I've done this many, many times, and you're going to have to come up with an aiming system on this for you. I know at this distance, when I raise my cue, now you can notice Which side do we go on? Well, what I do is I take the center of this ball, straight line to my ball. Now you can see that a straight line to my object ball is here. So you can see that the 5 ball is slightly to the right. So I would curve it around this way. If this ball was slightly this way, which I don't have to curve all the way around the ball, I have a 3/4 curve, I would go on the right-hand side. Now, how do I aim? I know myself, I've practiced this many, many times. What I do is when I come here, the inside of my Q-tip is on the outside of the ball that I'm curving around. That's going to give me time, okay? So this inside is on the edge of that ball. That's going to give me time. First of all, when I hit this, it's going to go this way with spin. So that's going to get us right around. That's going to get us right around this ball. Because once we hit it on the left-hand side, it's going to force it to the right with spin and give it time to catch on the table to make our object ball. Okay, so of course this takes many hours of practice to become proficient at it, and that's the name of this game. And you know how I like to say, just get out, hit them, pocket balls. You come across this situation, don't be afraid to use it, okay? Practice it, get used to it, make it part of your routine, okay? This can save you games just by maneuvering the ball 6 to 8 inches, okay? I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, we still have about 40% of people watching these videos not subscribed. Help us out a little bit. Subscribe and tell your friends, and let's just keep building this channel. And other than that, let's practice. Have a good one.